Coach, you switched receiver positions with Coach Nickel.
Correct.
You're the outside guy now.
Yep.
And that started just before camp down here in Lewiston. So what's it been like working with your new crew of guys? I know you knew them anyway.
Sure.
But it's your first year here on the Palouse, and now you're with this new group. What's the transition been like?
It's been awesome. It really has. I've been really pleased with their attitude and effort, and it's just a great opportunity for me, kind of like I've been saying all along, one, to just learn another position in coach's offense, and then to learn a new set of guys. Each set of guys is different. Each unit of guys is different. As you know, the offensive line is always different from the receivers, and, when coach splits these guys up as inside and outside guys, then that group is going to in turn be different. So it's a pleasure, man. They've been attentive in meetings. They've been just trying to soak up as much knowledge as they can, and you know what? Honestly, through 4 days of practice, I think today's 4. I can't keep track anymore. All right, but I've been pleased with their attitude and their effort, and they're willing to learn.
You got to be pleased with what they looked like off the bus, right? I mean, you're working with some big boys: Dimry, Tavares Martin Jr., Tay Martin, who's a new name
Correct.
for fans. They don't know him yet as much, but.
Yep.
Unless they were down here in Lewiston, they don't
Sure.
know Tay. But you're working with some of the most talented outside wide receivers, Isaiah Johnson, Mack, Desmond Patman. These are big guys.
Correct. It's been kind of fun, if you will. It's a new set of toys, if you will. My son's birthday is tomorrow, so I know he's going to have a new set of toys. But so I always know what that's like. But yeah, you're like a kid in a candy store. You got a new set of toys. It's not in terms of but just body types wise. It is an upgrade, in size, and that'll allow you to do some different things with them. So put them in more successful positions to make plays down the field.
Now you've been here. This is just a few months for you.
Yep.
This is your first season here.
Yep.
But you're familiar with a lot of the guys on the staff. I'm not sure how fans realize how much you know the guys, the coaches on
Correct.
the staff. You worked at Nevada with Ken Wilson and Jim Mastro, and you've worked with Alex Grinch at New Hampshire and Wyoming.
Correct.
You have a lot of connections to this staff.
I do. It started at a young age. Jim Mastro gave me my first shot. I mean, the head coach was Chris Tormey, but Mastro had an instrumental part in getting me a graduate assistant job. And he and I kind of hit it off right away. He told me, I'll show you the ropes, and just work hard. And he got me the job, and that's exactly what I did for him. And Ken was on that second staff. I got, as a GA, I got retained when Coach Alt came back. Got to be a part of that, and Coach Wilson was over in the academic side, or in the administration side, and he came over and coached football again. And that's where I met Coach Wilson. And then as far as Grinch, the story goes, we walked in to the office on July 9th. I believe it was 2010 or 2005, excuse me, and we had to Rochambeau for the internet cord in the office, because we shared one office with 4 dudes, and he and I walked in at the same time, and he won, so he had the internet cord, so we had to pass the internet cord back and forth, back in 2005 to print scouting reports. So, but then, yeah, we were lucky enough to be at Wyoming together, and obviously we have a great friendship and a great connection, and we, he coaches the corners and safeties, I coach the receivers, so we've been going at it a while. But I think the most beneficial relationship in that is at home. His wife and my wife, all of our kids were born in Laramie, Wyoming, and now we get to move here, and they got each other, and as you know, we're away from them quite a bit, so that's probably the biggest thing that I've gained out of it. It's also good to have that on the home front too.
Well, that
so
makes the transition a lot easier. Personally,
absolutely.
Which makes you a better coach, I would think, too, right?
No question.
You're comfortable at home. He makes you comfortable here.
Exactly right.
You come from Toledo. You were
Yep.
there for 3 years.
Correct.
What was it like at the Rockets, and what are you bringing here philosophically? You're familiar with all these other coaches, but we also named a lot of defensive coaches.
Sure.
You're a wide receivers guy. You're
Yep.
on the offensive side. So what's it like, one, bringing what you learned at Toledo to here, and then what are you trying to add into this staff?
Absolutely. The thing I learned at my 3 years at Toledo, hands down, from Coach Campbell, who was the head coach, and Coach Candle, who was the coordinator, and now the head coach, I spent 1 year with him, is player relationships, and that's what I'm doing with this group. I'm really investing in them, giving them my all, giving them, hey, here's my heart, I'm giving it to you, and I expect the return, the return. And I really learned that. That was the one thing I think that stuck out to me the most. Obviously, the Toledo staff, great football minds. Every coach has moved on there, and they're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to be really good again this year. But the relationship, the player-coach relationship part was what I gained the most. And that's, I think, what I'm trying to instill in these guys. A hard hat, blue-collar, lunch bucket mentality that's just really focusing on the details. And so far, again, we're not anywhere where we need to be, but we're making strides.